Fala, Katarina. Thank you so much. I'll continue in English because I want everybody, both here but also on the video later, to understand me. Yeah, as Katarina mentioned, I'm here. My name is Stjepan, and beside being the tallest, probably, participant today, I also have been working with BIM for the better part of a decade, and I have been working with AI for around a year. And when I say working, it's probably like I was in the same shoes as many of you were last year, but I'm going to come to that point. The name of my lecture today is Artificial Intelligence in Architecture, Engineering, and Construction. It's a very wide topic, so I just want to align expectations and just say that this is like my kind of I want to be somewhat general, but also give you some good kind of insights into how to continue your own learning, your own education within AI. Because the truth of the matter is that it's new for everybody here and everybody in the world, basically. Also, one more important thing, I'm not representing any company. I do work at Big, but I'm not representing neither them nor any of the other company. I'm giving my independent opinions about things, so I'm not selling you any of the softwares. Let's just put it like that. But yeah. Also, one more practical thing is that in the bottom of the slides, you can see that when the image has been made using artificial intelligence, I put the prompt, what I've used to create it, or if I use some kind of reference, I put who I kind of took it from. But that's just practical. So I want to start and open with the burning question. You see, yeah. And the burning question probably is, why AI? Why do we need it? Maybe some of you were thinking, oh man, I just started with BIM, or I just implemented BIM, and now we need artificial intelligence. Why do we need it? And I want to explain that we have, at a global scale, we have big problems. One of the biggest problems is that over the next 30 years, we need to create 327 million new homes if we want to house the global population. Moreover, we've been hearing for a long time, ever since we were students, and then working about the low productivity in our industry. And lastly, all the sustainable goals, we always hear, we need to be more sustainable, but we're not reaching it. So I'm not saying that AI is the solution to everything, but I am saying is that I believe that AI is a big part of the solution. Moreover, the problems that we also have on a more kind of local scale are, constantly, even we have BIM or not, there are project delays, there are costs. Also, there are increasing complexities. You also know that we need to be reskilled as workers every year. And lastly, people still die on construction sites, sadly. So there might be hope into using some AI tools to help us with all of this stuff. So again, I want to explain that the lecture today is my goal is that all of you understand the basics of AI and what it all means. I'm going to show some use cases. There's so many, so I kind of wanted to focus on just some, and then to give you a realistic outlook on what I believe AI will turn into and how is seen maybe in the Western world. Just a bit about a background, so you all know I am Croatian, and I have been living here since, until I was 18, and then I moved to Denmark to study and work. I've been in Denmark for 8.5 years now. And then one probably big thing, maybe some of you know me from there, or recognize me. I have been really sharing and really delving into this LinkedIn thing, because it might sound stupid, but I really felt a calling that I should do this. And I could say I've been blessed that it's been really paying off. Also, let me see, regarding my education, I'm my formal education, I took a bachelor in something between architecture and engineering, and then later on I specialized within BIM. And then I started working, I was working at Sweco, which is Europe's largest engineering consultancy, as a BIM coordinator and construction architect, and for the last a bit over a year and a half, I've been at Big as a project BIM lead. So I want to start the story here. As you all know, on the November 30th, maybe not the date, but exactly this time last year, ChatGPT has been launched. It's been somewhat of a quiet launch, but it really took the world by storm. You can see that from this slide, because within the span of 2 months, it had 100 million users. So we all wanted to test it. It was something that many of us just delved into and were amazed. We could do many of the things before, but never so quickly, never so easily as with ChatGPT. Moreover, us as architects and kind of designers, we also started with ChatGPT also started exploring what is out there else besides like a chatbot, that you can chat with. What else is there? And we discovered Mid-Journey, we discovered Stable Diffusion, DALL-E 2, and we started creating all of these kind of super realistic images that we could use for our renders for our clients. And that's actually what we started doing. Here's a test I did to see how good these AI tools could be, where I took like some famous architects and like we could use it for inspiration. We saw that these tools might work with existing data, but they could be creative. They could help us be more creative. And then we also started learning about what is prompting, how does it work, how does the engine, what is text to image, and so on. And then like a natural question appeared is like, is artificial intelligence good or bad? Like, will it take our jobs? What about my safety and so on? And then to answer that question, I want to take a step back and talk about when the internet came along. And this was, I guess, in the 90s, where we were also wondering, is the internet good or bad? And now the answer to that question is yes. Like, it can be both. When you, like, it depends how you use it. And that's the same answer I would use for artificial intelligence. So it depends how you use it, whether it's good or bad. So what happened then after this kind of rise of this new or kind of some AI tools? I knew that I know not so maybe much about the wide world, but I have some knowledge within our industry. And then I was super curious, and I kind of started researching and making all these bookmarks in my browser, and then my browser was getting filled with ads and all of these bookmarks, and I was, being a big guy, I wanted to structure it, and then I actually made this AEC AI hub. And this is a kind of hub that is a database of, I launched it February 27, and where there were 100 AI tools. So this is far beyond ChatGPT, Mid-Journey, Stable Diffusion, and so on. So this is how the AEC AI hub looks today. And today there are almost 500 solutions. Depends also on the people watching this video later on. Maybe there's going to be a lot more because I am always adding it as soon as I find something out. And this is how it looks. So it's a long list. Yeah, the video is running. It's a long list, and you can see that there's like a lot of information. But I also wanted to structure it in a way where I had two basically check marks. What is the tool AI-driven or not? What is the mouse is going to show in a second. And then the second is it a champion or not? So AI-driven or not is that I also found a lot of tools out there that maybe not be AI-driven, but they are super, their engines behind are super developed and super advanced. And I wanted to also to put it there. And then the champion part is more of a personal kind of assessment. If I believe a tool, after you've been through so many tools, you kind of start to realize what is good, what is bad, or what could be a better product. And then I also have a bunch of these, updates. So this is available for free online, and this is also important to say that I shared it. And then now, as I wanted to go through some of the categories. There are 15 categories that I can put these tools into. And we're going to go through some of them because I want to give you some inspiration of what the tools can be used for. To start with prop tech or property technology, this is, I guess, where it all starts with like investments and real estate developers and so on. So AI is helping them to maybe do more of a job, to make calculated decisions in a better way. They can analyze so much data easier with all of these AI tools. There's even like tools to create all of these kind of super salesy fly-throughs. You can take images, treat it into a video, and then send it to people you want to sell your house or your building to. This part with design creation is very interesting, guys. As I said to architect today, because all of a sudden you could you could just put a text prompt, you could describe something in your head, and instead of sketching or spending days or I don't know what, you could just get it as an image and then kind of work with it after that. But it's not only text to image. This is what I also want to say. It's not only text to image. Or text to 2D. There's a bunch of text to 3D, where you can create 3D objects out of text prompt. You can create kind of 3D models out of the images you've created. So this is there's a very advanced technology. It's still very early, but it exists. This part with generative design And all of these, this is actually, this has been for a few years in the industry already. Maybe some of you have been using it. I would say it's interesting because now you can see that AI also works in a way where you can give it some parameters. You can give it, okay, I want, I don't know, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, I want this, that, in this kind of connection, and then it can create a bunch of layouts for you. It can create a bunch of solutions, and then it's up to you to realize what you like more, how the wind is, how the sun is, you can make calculated decisions. Next one is something that I think also this big one I really want to mention, because this is a tool that I think it's groundbreaking how it works. It's basically text to BIM. Meaning that you put a text prompt, as it says here, I want a house with like 40 by 40, or this tall, and then it creates a BIM model for you. I mean, this is something that can really fundamentally change our industry. Also, like there is, even though I'm talking about architecture mainly, there is a lot of tools for MEP, for structural design, but that's what we're coming on soon. When it comes to construction, I would say that like the benefits of AI can be seen when we talk about quantity takeoffs, especially, because you have some AI tools that can help you chat with your model. Instead of having a person who understands how the building is made, giving you some schedules that you have a hard time understanding from Excel to CSV to text to I don't know which file format, you can just ask the model, how many columns are there on the 3rd floor? And it gives you the answer. There are like solutions like that. Also with Scan to BIM, there are tools that you can scan your site and it turns into a BIM model automatically. It's really groundbreaking. Structural design, I know many of us here today are like engineers by heart. And this is what I wanted to say, that compared to this generative design that I mentioned earlier, where you kind of get a bunch of solutions, this works in a bit of a different way, where you give it a lot of variables, but you can get one single solution as the best one, depending on what your variables are. And then you also have some tools where you can put in your drawings, and then it compares it to your building codes. This is still not worldwide, though. I know there's someone for the States. I think there's one for Australia. But like it compares your drawings, and then it can warn you, okay, this is not up to building code. This is. So it's really, really interesting. And then all of this might sound scary, but what I figured out also today, we had the Spot, right, the robot here on the stage, and then I guess like artificial intelligence can be scary at times, but as soon as it has a name, Spot, then it's cute, then it's like nice, then we're all like, oh, okay, it's super cool. So I guess it's just a reflection on that. I think that we should mainly try to embrace all of this technology. So yeah, I mean, with robotics, this is where AI software, which is mainly software-based, meets hardware. And there's like a lot of development in this part where you can kind of print and be more precise on the construction site. It can work in some environments that maybe are not safe for construction workers, but you can put a robot to do it instead of you. Now, these next 2 slides are something that is maybe not super specific for our industry, but we all basically can use it. And these are, I call them assistants and then platforms. So assistants are, I mean, there's tools that you can get it to listen to your meetings. It creates meeting notes automatically and then sends action items to whoever needs it. So you kind of slip off, especially like in busy environments, it can be a really good help. Of course, there are also tools that I maybe didn't mention on construction, where it translates things in real time. As you speak with your construction workers who might be from another country, it can really easily translate it. And all of these, I mean, this is including things like ChatGPT that can help you research, they can help you summarize, also Microsoft Copilot, with Outlook, creating presentations and so on. And then lastly, I wanted to mention these platforms, because this is something that it's coming to a point where our data is becoming ever more important. So if you think that you have a bunch of data and you don't know what to do with it, it's going to be important, and it could actually give you a competitive edge in the future. And this is, as I said, it can help you create more kind of calculated decisions based on what you plan to do. So yeah, this was just some of the categories. I do encourage everybody to go out and like check this list for yourself, and whatever interests you, you can just search and you can get it. And then I understand this might be overwhelming. I'm super aware of that. And when it was, I guess, was something around June. I understood that this list, 500 tools,
nobody has time to actually go through all of them, and like, maybe you want something more, like something more tangible. So then I kind of started creating these cheat sheets. So a cheat sheet is basically an A3 size paper that can be printed out, shared with your colleagues, where I wanted to explain some of the basic kind of AI nomenclature, so how do you call things, what it does, and what are the key AI tools. I haven't talked about them so much today, but I do, as I said, you can look them up here. Many of these are startups. Some of them are just bought by big companies or not bought yet. So yeah, this is what I like. I also wrote some conclusions and predictions. Next cheat sheet that I made was based on mainly design, because I know that many of us are designers that want to play with it. And what I noticed here is that we have so many tools for interior design. So you can basically take a photo of your room and kind of take it to reimagine. You can get some ideas how you want to develop your apartment or your house that you just bought, and so on. And then the last cheat sheet that I made is also the most recent one, and this is based on normal building phases that we usually go through. And you can see here that there are more general tools, and there are also some tools that, again, are not maybe AI-driven, but can be really, really helpful. You can get all of the cheat sheets through this QR code. They're all available for free. And I want to mention just a quick funny story here, is that, I did all of this research in my free time. Like, I have a full-time job, and then in my free time I was delving into this, researching, posting on LinkedIn. But I wasn't on my own, because I was actually, when I was making, I believe the second one here, it was summertime, and I'm like, it's super hot outside, I'm just inside, working super hard. My mom, who's actually here today, she couldn't believe that I'm working, and she was like, for free, really? Like, you're sharing all of this? But she was there to get me a fruit salad, to get me a coffee, so thank you, Mom, I really appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. So the next part is I want to go through some thoughts and how I see this all developing. And the big question is, like, will I lose my job? I would say for now, it's not sure, but I would say don't worry. And the reason is the following slide. Here, after getting, as I said, through 500 tools, I believe that 95% of them are still kind of assistive or integrating AI tools. So again, this is all based on my personal assessment. And this is all my kind of how I personally really see it divided, because assistants are tools that can just assist you quickly, make some schedules, read some data, work with quick stuff. Integrators are tools that work already with tools that you're using on a daily basis. And then these master builder tools that we're kind of usually thinking about, they're going to come and take over, they're quite early, and there's only maybe 5% of them out there. And these are tools that can really have the possibility to change the whole industry. So with that, I want to say that it will take time. This whole AI change, even though in 2023 has been like hyped up that it's going to change everything tomorrow, it's going to take time. And there will be, I guess, a small cool-off in 2024. And this is not to mean, okay, we should all relax, but it's going to be because I believe that we're going to realize, okay, it's still people, processes, and then technology, as we mentioned earlier. And then one last thing that I think that, everybody has an opinion on AI, but I just wanted to say that I believe that in maybe 10, 15, 20 years, we're going to have some buildings or projects or roads that we're going to call, okay, this is human-made or handmade, and you know that today when you buy something handmade, you give it more value because you know somebody has used their time. And it is my personal belief that only when you work with your hands, you give a part of your soul to this product. So I think that this is still all understand as a tool. Moreover, there are a lot of questions. There's a lot of positives about AI. We can talk about democratization of technology. You don't need to go maybe through 3-4 years of school and only some people can understand. You can just quickly, Google it, ask ChatGPT or Bard or whichever tool. It can offer you this stuff. Then there's a lot of negatives. Now it's also hard to understand what is AI made, what is human made, who am I talking to? Who is giving me an answer? Is this taking the world? So there's a lot of negatives, again, also regarding jobs. And then lastly, the path to AI is unclear. I do believe that more companies, and I've been in touch with many, who are reaching out and saying, yeah, we want to invest, we want to see, but there's not a clear, okay, this is what you do. You go from A to B to C. There's not a clear path. So people are still testing things out. I do want to mention something. So I wanted to kind of just remind that I don't think, even though I said it's going to take time, I don't think that AI is a part of some futuristic future. AI has been here for years, and you can see it that we have been using it already in all of these predictive texts. When you write an email and then it appears, that's AI. Your smart home devices, Alexa, Siri, they're all using AI to communicate with you. Your recommendations, what you're doing, all of these companies have AI integrated. We just haven't talked about it yet. Face ID, Google Maps, and then, I mean, these social media that I wanted and banking in the end, have all been using AI for a long time, but it's been kind of a bit undercover. But there is they also noticed that it's a big trend, AI, and then a lot of companies, especially big tech, have been launching a bunch of stuff. And then, beside these big tech companies that are maybe not super connected with our industry, but we still depend on many things, Autodesk just recently, just 3 days ago actually, on Autodesk University in Las Vegas, they announced that they're giving some AI tools out there, that they're pushing something out. So I think this is a big change, and I think this is a positive change for the industry. So you might be wondering now, okay, enough talk, we know it's the change, what can I do about it? How can I implement AI? So I would say that knowing your business and knowing your data, having your data and how you can use it is very important. Because you can have the best business in the world, but if you don't understand the details of it, it's really hard to use this kind of technological change for your competitive edge. Moreover, you might be thinking, okay, but I'm just an employee, I'm not the manager, AI is not going to affect me, so I'm not going to look at it for now. I would say, like, the top-down approach is probably going to be what's going to happen, where managers will come and they will tell you this is how we're going to do things. As an example, I recently talked with a municipality, one Danish municipality kind of representative, and then I asked him, what's new? And then he said that they just have a kind of an order, they need to cut costs. And they want to cut costs on cleaning. And I'm like, how do you do it? And then he said that they put a bunch of sensors in the public institutions they're running, they're kind of facilitating. And then but what do these do? What do these kind of sensors do? And then he said they were watching how many times in toilets doors open and close, because they want to cut costs by seeing not every toilet is used at the same amount every time. So instead of having a cleaning person clean all the toilets, they want to have cleaning people only cleaning some of them, depending on use. So for the cleaning person, at the lowest, lowest ranking level, you can say, maybe they're thinking, AI is not going to affect me, but it's actually affecting your job without you actually realizing. So I just want everybody to be aware of this, that this might happen as well. And then, there's a fun part coming that I really want to show, and I think that AI implementation can happen quicker than you might think. In March, in Copenhagen, I was a part of this AEC hackathon. For those of you who maybe not know what a hackathon is, it's basically a kind of 2-3, maybe a week-long event. Usually it's like over a weekend, where a bunch of programmers, usually programmers, tech passionates, come together and then hack a solution. They're trying to find something that they can quickly hack over 24, 48 hours and present it to a panel. And then I was with a bunch of programmers and some UX designers, which I think is really important, because programmers sometimes get lost in all these codes, but it's important to be able to present it in a nice way. And then what we designed, we basically used AI to create a bunch of facades. And then we used computer vision to understand on each facade what is a window, what is a column, what is a wall, what are the different elements, and then based on this understanding, it can give us the heat analysis of the inside of that apartment, of that space. So it can give us, we can understand how the space will be energy efficient or not. So what is kind of a better energy saving facade, you can say. Moreover, when I say it's quicker than you might think, just last Friday, I had a kind of an evening I wanted to just sit down and work, and then over a span of one evening, I created this AEC AI GPT, which is a custom GPT. And the way it works is that I wanted to, instead of people going to Notion and going through all of this hub with 500 solutions, I wanted everybody to just be able to chat with ChatGPT and ask it, what's the best? And then I created this in a span of like 3 hours. If you want to test it out, for those who have the premium version, there's a QR code. Yeah. And then even if you don't manage to film it, you can just look at my LinkedIn and take it from there. So I guess the thing that I want to say and kind of round this whole talk with is that in 2024, I believe is going to be a crucial year. As I said, you might be an employee, you might think that it's not that big of a deal. I'm here to say that it is, and you just need to be aware. Personally, I have a bunch of plans for 2024. I will continue to share whatever kind of I feel necessary and I feel people can benefit from online. And I think that a lot of companies are investing into this and looking into this. So it's just kind of a question to everybody: what do you plan to do with 2024? Do you just keep doing business as usual, or do you might want to look into this? Because I think that we're all going to agree after this whole talk that AI is probably the biggest tech advancement in a decade. And then what I want to say is that, as in the beginning, we are all in this together. There's nobody out there in the world who knows so much more, who's already done it 100 times. This is very new for us. And then with the last slide, I wanted to say that no matter how far, you can see with the laptop and LinkedIn on the opposite side, or how close these AI generating tools can be, I will always be this guy in the middle. This is a real photo. I am in a jacket today, but usually this is me behind the laptop. And I will always be that tall guy and sharing my stuff. And I hope that you enjoyed today, and I hope that you're going to find this valuable. And thank you so much. Hvala najljepša.